Hey, what is going on, guys? Welcome back to White Gaming. How is everybody doing? Today we are back again with some more Generation Zero, and what we're going to do today is talk about the January update. Now that went live yesterday, and I was busy yesterday. I had some issues, so we're trying it out today, and I've had a lot of fun, to be honest. There's a lot of good changes and a lot of fixes. This update consists primarily of fixes, because obviously the team are on holiday over the Christmas period, and what they do the month before comes out this month, if that makes sense. So December's work will come out in January's update. So it's a small update, but it consists of a lot of fixes, bug patches, things like that. There's not much content-wise. We were meant to be getting a surprise, but unfortunately there was an issue and the guys weren't happy with it, so they said that will be coming at a future date. I don't know when. Hopefully very soon. That would be very nice. Before we get started on all the little bits that have gone through, I just want to remind you guys that there's a giveaway going on the White Gaming Facebook page, so if you just scroll all the way down to the bottom of the description, click on that link and go and enter the giveaway there. But anyway, so what they have added is that they've made a very big change to the rival system, which it doesn't really affect me personally because I've maxed my level out. And like a lot of people that have been playing from the start, but obviously a lot of people would have joined in on Christmas. So they're obviously, if they've had rivals beforehand, now they don't, because you need to be level 25 to actually get the rivals, and I'm pretty sure it only goes up to level 32. So you've got to be quite high end of the levels to actually get to the rivals. But you know, it's quite cool, even though you've got to grind a bit more. I mean, I think it's better that way because the rivals are meant to be some of the hardest and harshest enemies in the game. So if you're able to get them from the start, it kind of takes a little bit away from towards end game, if you know what I mean. So I think it's quite a good like something to push for, you know. And also they have taken balance on the experimental weapons, so now it will actually work out in your favour to go and hunt a level 4 rival. Whereas I've done one video before, which is the farming of rivals, and it didn't really matter what level they were, so you could just start it anywhere, and it wouldn't really make a difference. But now, obviously, level 4 apocalypse tanks, when they are rivals, that's your best chance to get an experimental weapon. So, you know, you've got to work a bit harder now to get them. It wasn't as easy. When I got all of mine, it didn't matter what level they were, and I just smashed out a load of level 1s until I collected everything. So, you know, you've now got to work quite a bit harder. And another thing that they've done is obviously because they haven't given us the surprise they said, and there's a lot of new players over the Christmas period, they have extended the Christmas event now until the 3rd of February. So, you know, anyone that wasn't there, now you've got the chance to play and, you know, get a bit more stuff from that event that was going. It's mainly vanity items, but you know, some people are very into that. I personally would like to see a disappearance of quite a few of the vanity items. I think there's far too many. It's good because it gives you something to collect, you know, but when you go around looting for ammo and med packs and you come across a pair of trousers, it's quite annoying. Or you're hunting these rivals down and the level 4 rival gives you a vest or something, or it can be annoying, but you know, some people like to collect things like that. But with the experimental drop rate, obviously you are going to have to work a little bit harder, but I'll get a video out on that soon and show you best ways to get some really cool experimental weapons. And so, what else they have done, bug fix wise, is very big. There are a few bits that have stood out from me so far, and I think they are absolutely awesome. And the sounds of the weapons, and just the overall sound of the environment. It just sounds wicked. The guns sound so much better. The experimental PPG, when you fire a round now, it's got that electrical sound that it had at first, but it's got a thud as the round leaves the barrel, which I think is really cool. And also, when you get down to the bottom of your magazine, you start to hear clicks, and then when you get to the very last round, you've got the dead man's click, which is really cool. I like that they've added that. I mean, I don't know if it was there all along, because I know a lot of people have had audio issues. I've had audio issues with the game, so whether that was there from the beginning, I'm not too sure. I can't really remember. But either way, it sounds better than it did, and I think that's really cool, and I like that. And also, when you're aiming down the sights of your sniper rifle, obviously you've got the scopes with different modes on. If you're aiming down the sights of your sniper, it pops up on your HUD now what mode you're using, which is quite cool. It never did that before, and so you can cycle through the modes as they're displayed on screen, which is really cool. I like that. It's simple, but it's cool. They've also changed the sort of font as well of the HUD on the bottom left where your health is. It's more of a bold now than what it was, which I like that. I just think it looks cool. It stands out a bit more, which is very good. And there are a few people I know they towards the start of the game wanted a hardcore mode, which takes away obviously the HUD elements, but I quite like it. It looks cool. And something that's just going to help everyone so much, especially me, because I love to run and gun. I don't really tend to sit in the same place too much unless I'm far back using my sniper. You can now reload while sprinting, which, oh my god, wow, it's such a godsend. It helps so much. You know, especially when you're running around a tank, you're trying to run circles around him, and then you've got to stop sprinting to reload. That's when you start getting shot. Whereas now you can just sprint all the way through, which is really cool. It's a nice little thing that they've added. Obviously, it's nothing major, but it really helps. Just those little changes like that, the little tweaks. I think they're brilliant. And it's so much better. Also now, obviously with bits like that coming out, there's not really much gameplay wise, but they've said 2019 they were doing all bug fixes and all the other little bits, just polishing the game up really. So now 2020 is going to be their year for content. They're going to add a lot. They said they've got a surprise for us next month, and obviously the surprise that was meant to be coming out in this month's update, whether that will come next month. So we've got 2 funky new things. Personally, I think it might be crafting, because they've said they've got something funky for us to play with and mess around with. So it's not missions or anything like that, although there's big plans to add more missions and just to keep the replayability towards endgame going, different bits. So hopefully, if it is crafting, that's going to be very cool. And we'll see some nice new items to pick up, and it'd be nice to be able to dismantle weapons and things like that. Because once you've got all your weapons, you've got every weapon in the game. Looting and hunting enemies is just more fun than I like to, grind and collect stuff. But now I've collected everything. Now I just go around and blow things up. It's fun. Why not? So what they've done bug-wise, this is a very long list. I'm just going to go through it fairly quickly. I mean, obviously their Facebook page is in the link down below, so if you want to go and have a real nice good read through that, then it's down there. I'm just going to read through a few of the main bug fixes, and hopefully it helps you guys and you get what you want. I know there are, on PlayStation 4, there are people having issues with crashes and their plunderer, not all the items not being in there. But if you have got any issues with that, head over to their Facebook, message them, the forums, all that kind of stuff. Obviously, if you don't tell them, they don't know, and they can't fix it. So the more people that let them know about an issue, the quicker they're going to get it fixed. So for bug fixes, they have fixed issues where you couldn't reload immediately after exiting a bicycle. It's now possible to reload and sprint, as I've said. Fixed an issue where it was possible to attach any ammo or attachment to any weapon. I did not know that was a thing. That's not an issue. That's pretty cool. Aiming down sights with a 12-gauge pump action resulted in a black bar appearing on the screen whilst wearing the worn flannel jacket or elegant tailcoat. Tweaked the way in which flame damage was applied to machines. Fixed a rare issue where weapon switching with only one main weapon equipped could unequip this weapon. That's annoying. Fixed an issue where player hair could appear distorted when looking through the scope. Fixed issues where thrown items would sometimes disappear in mid-air. Yeah, that was annoying. I had that once or twice. So for the UI, they have fixed issues where machine components would remain highlighted after leaving tech view. Fixed issues where the counter for adrenaline shots could become negative. An issue where the storage box incorrectly counted the number of attachments on a weapon against item space available. That was very annoying. Now that, I'm glad that's been fixed, because that frees up a little bit more space in your plunder as well, which is really cool. You can cram a little bit more in there, Mine was full, I've come back on, and now nothing's missing, but I've gained 20 spaces. So I'm assuming that's from all the attachments that I've got on weapons. I don't know whether it collectively stores it as one or not, but I know the weapons standard stored as 2 items, because obviously they take up 2 slots in your inventory. Anyway, tone down the HUD filter from the gas mask. Remove gas mask HUD filter when seeing your character in 3rd person, whilst emoting on a bike. Added tooltips on how to cycle views when using a vision module. See, that's what I mentioned earlier. That's very cool. Fixed issues where the bike icon could get stuck on the map in the world when you try to spawn a bike multiple times. Issues where both challenge tree tabs were highlighted when switching between menus. There's issues where rival nameplate would disappear if something blocked your line of sight. And the issues with the scroll bar behaviour in the collectibles menu, I had that as well. It was quite annoying, but it didn't really affect gameplay, you know, so it didn't bother me. And fixed issues where controls option appeared twice in the settings menu. Fixed an issue where your screen got mostly white if used a medkit whilst being hit by a flamethrower. That's quite funny. Issues was damage over time. Effect would not scale appropriately to your field of view setting. Oh. So there are a lot of mission fixes. I'll just give you the missions. But do you know what? No, because basically overall what they've done with the mission fixes is any missions that you had done the objectives for and it hadn't completed, now what happens is those objectives have collectively come together and it's completed the mission for you, so you don't have to go out and do anything again. Any missions that you actually completed or got the majority of the parts to complete and then it had failed have now all auto completed, so you shouldn't have any issues there. And if there's any missions that you thought you hadn't done but now have, that's probably why. And they've fixed issues on challenges where progression could be carried over to a new character after deleting all previous old characters. And lots of machines. They've done a lot of tweaks to that, especially when you're down and they just keep barraging you. That's now stopped, which is really good. Tanks would attempt to fire their missiles at a player that was well outside of the tank's weapon range. Fixed issues where a single destroyed tick would sometimes count as multiple whilst playing in multiplayer. Fixed an issue where in specific circumstances machines attacking the hotel would not deal damage. Fixed issues with how the Apocalypse class Hunter's Flamethrower would look from certain angles. I didn't say that right. Flamethrower. Cluster mines would sometimes materialise out of thin air. That was very annoying. I had that so much. Obviously disappearing machines as well. Dead and alive. That issue's been fixed as well, which is really good, because it's very annoying when you were in the middle of a firefight. It was helpful, but it was quite annoying. When it only happened to me with runners. You go through a few of my previous videos and you can see I'll be running around and then suddenly they'll all just vanish, and it's so annoying. But it was good at the same time. So they fixed an issue where ticks would sometimes spawn outside of houses instead of inside. I quite like that. I don't like them inside houses. They're very annoying. Fixed issues where players would not automatically respawn when falling into a lake near the military compounds and Angeras Church. Fixed issues where the KVM-89 squad automatic weapon ammo was not dropping on Osteron. Whoa. Fixed issues where players had trouble picking up this weapon in a small storage room at the Savad radar mast. Fixed issues regarding floating objects, clipping objects, or inconsistent collision. That's very annoying. I've seen that a lot. A lot of floating things, especially trees. That you'd be running around and there's just a random tree there that isn't touching the ground. Yeah. They fixed the issue with the swings, which is so disappointing, because the possessed swings were so funny. They just swing around like madmen. It's beautiful. Fixed issues where televisions would still be on after the power went out in the hotel. Fixed several instances of loot containers that were unable to be looted. Issues where it was possible to continually respawn at a relay beacon or zipline. Fixed a few instances of machines spawning and getting stuck inside buildings. So now we're on to the audio and voiceover, things like that. Which I've gone over a few at the start, but there's a couple more little bits. And they fixed issues where air raid siren could end up constantly playing. Oh, that's got to be annoying. Added translation to the overdrive firing mode on the experimental M46 Capist SMG. Updated various collectibles and mission items to include or remove text based on their description. Fixed a few issues where subtle text disappearing too quickly or staying on the screen for too long. Issues with inconsistency between run and sprint in the settings menus. Issues where the tutorial flow on PC would mention left stick whilst using a mouse and keyboard. Several punctuation issues. Issues where several audio logs would show a giant block of text when using subtitles instead of pasting the text out. I had that a lot. It was very annoying. Especially because they come out in Swedish, obviously. I think you can change that, but I've just left it. I don't know why. It's quite annoying trying to read the whole thing before it disappears. Fixed issue where the player heartbeat from sprinting still playing when emoting or getting on a bicycle. Fixed issues where overdrive sound effects from the expendable N4D6 keypist SMG ended too early in multiplayer. Issues where VO may not be heard during the Ghosts of the Past mission. Issues with VO and subtitles overlapping the credits during the Behind the Curtain mission. Issues where sometimes audio log VO would reverberate. I don't know what that. Yeah. Reverberate? Yeah. While playing in a bunker. And then fixed issues where player footsteps wouldn't play whilst reloading. And finally, the last piece now is the crashes. And they fixed issues where players could crash when retrieving your experimental clock 17 from storage. And issues where players would be stuck on the login screen after crashing. And finally, there's various other crash fixes, which from what I've seen, a lot of these fixes have helped a lot of people. As I said earlier on though, there are still a few tiny issues, but do mention them on the forums and any other social sites that are connected to Generation Zero, because like I said, if they don't know, they can't fix it. And I did see someone slating the game saying that they don't do anything to fix these issues, whereas that is a complete lie. These guys work really hard, and every time there's an issue, they just get straight on it and try and get it as fixed as fast as possible, which is more than you can say for a lot of games that are out there at the moment, especially some bigger games. I'm not going to mention any names, but you know, it's it's a bad game. I did start it on the channel, but due to constant crashing and other issues, I pulled it. I got about 10 episodes in, I think it was. So yeah, if you go down, you'll see that. It was very annoying. Yeah. But anyway, guys, that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed. I hope it's been helpful. Remember, any challenges you want me to do, drop that in the comments and I'll get on it. But for today, thanks for watching. We'll see you again in the next one. Peace.